Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be talking about everyone's favourite topic, vaginas. So if vaginas or periods freak you out, firstly grow up, and secondly don't watch. I'm going to be talking to you about 3 different things: periods and my personal experience with periods and period protection. What do you even call? Is there like tampons, pads, menstrual cups? Is there a collective word for that? Period accessories. Anyway, I'm going to be talking about that, and then I'm going to talk about contraception and my experience with different types of contraception and how it's worked out for me or not worked out for me. And then lastly, I'm going to talk to you about a condition that is straight from hell called cystitis. So buckle up. Okay, so periods. I started my period when I was 11 years old. I was in year 6. I was an early bloomer, and I don't actually remember it actually starting, but I do know, I remember feeling like out of place because it was earlier than any of my friends, and I had boobs as well at this point, or like the start of boobs, and I was like, oh my god, why am I growing up so fast? Also, my periods have always been quite heavy, unfortunately, and I also have always had really bad PMS, so basically everything that's bad about periods I get. I remember the first time I tried to use a tampon. Well, I tried a million times to use tampons, but it never worked out for me. I remember trying to put it in, and then like wanting to go swimming, so I'd put it in and then start walking around, and it's not good. I couldn't actually wear tampons until I had lost my virginity, and now that is like the main form of period protection that I use. It's not the best. I always kind of have felt guilty about using them because I have heavy periods too. I go through quite a lot in one cycle, and I use applicators too, which are plastic mostly, so that's a lot of waste and it's not good for the world. And also tampons aren't very good for your vaginal health anyway, especially ones that you can get scented ones and everything. Like, that's just not, all those chemicals are not good for your vagina. So I have recently switched to a menstrual cup. I was thinking about it for a really long time mostly because I spent so much money on tampons. So I thought I'll give it a go and we'll see how it works out. I've had it for about 2 months now. Here it is. I got it from a website called Hey Girls. It comes in this really cute pouch. And for every one that you buy, they provide one for someone in need of one, or someone who like can't afford period products themselves. And you know what? I absolutely love it. I've fully converted to menstrual cup life. This is what it looks like. Here it is. It's like squishy, and yeah, it's a lot easier to use than I thought it would be. So basically you just kind of scrunch it up and shove it in. You can't feel it at all if you put it in right. It lasts for ages, and like you can leave them in for up to 12 hours, and I have not had any leaks or anything like that. So in conclusion, menstrual cups are the way forward. Also very good for the environment, very good for the old purse strings. It was like, I think it was like a tenner at £12. I think it was £12. Usually I spend that much per month on tampons anyway. So yeah. Now I want to talk about contraception. So I became sexually active at 16, and I was very, very, very paranoid about getting pregnant. So I started the pill straight away, and I remember feeling quite like cool, and like I felt like I was really grown up and being like, oh, I'm on the pill. And I got it from like my local clinic, and I was only allowed to get the progesterone only pill because I have had migraines. And so if you have migraines where, or if you've ever had a migraine where you can see little shapes floating in the air before it happens, then you can't have a pill that has estrogen in it, I think. So yeah, I'm on the I was on Cerazette at the time. I was on that for about 4 months, and I hated it. So it's one that you don't have a break with it, like the other pills. So the combined pill you take for 3 weeks, and then you have a week break where you have your period. This pill, you just take it continuously, and I think for the majority of people it stops your period. For me, it made me have a continuous period, so I had a constant period for 4 months on this pill, and it made my skin break out really badly as well. So not a good experience for me. I didn't want to stick it out and see if the bleeding would stop. I was just sick of it, so I was like, I'm going to try something else. So enter the implant. The implant is the one that's like a little stick, and they put it into your arm like this. Not as gross as it sounds. Like when you're getting it put in, you just kind of have to lie there like that, and they numb it, and then they just put it in. You don't have to look, it's fine. It doesn't really hurt. What freaks some people out though is that you can like feel it under your arm skin. I used to like playing with it, but other people did not. So I had the implant I had that for 4 months too, and it did exactly the same thing as the pill, in that I had a constant period every single day for months, and it just didn't let up. And it also made me really give me really bad mood swings, made my skin really bad, and it was just not good, so I got it taken out. Then I was just using condoms for a while, and then I came out of my relationship, and I was single, and I was going to uni, and I thought I need to be on something other than condoms. So I got the implant again, and I was like, this time I'm gonna stick it out. Usually it says that it takes around 3 to 4 months for the period side of things to calm down. So I was like, right, I'll stick it out, we'll see. So, got it put back in, and I stuck it out. So 4 months, I had 4 months of straight bleeding, which was a nightmare, but I was like, I'm gonna do it. And then after 4 months, it stopped, and I had nothing, no bleeding whatsoever for about 10 months, and it was great. It was honest, it was the good old day, like it was a good time. But as well, I did have some bad side effects again. So I had acne, weight gain, really, really awful mood swings. It didn't help that at the time I had some mental health issues also, and it just kind of amplified them. Yeah, I think it just it turned out it just really wasn't for me. So after I started bleeding again, I got it taken out. And then I was on nothing again for a year? About a year. I mean, obviously I used condoms, but I wasn't on any inside contraception. And now I'm on the pill again. So I can still only take the progesterone only pill. So it's the same, it's not called Cerazette, it's called, let me get it. It's called Desogestrel. Here it is. And same thing, one a day, every day. And I've been on it for almost 2 months, and at first I had no bleeding for 2 weeks, and then bleeding every day again, and I was like, fucking hell, like, can I not get any peace? So I bled for about a month, and now we're in week 7 or 8, and it's gone. Nothing is, it's safe. So fingers crossed it'll stay that way. I haven't really had any other side effects either. My skin's pretty much stayed the same. My mood has been fine, other than like the first week where I was a bit moody. So hopefully now, maybe it's because I'm older now, so, you know, I've been taking contraception for 8 years. So maybe now my body's kind of grown up enough to do what I want it to do. Maybe my hormones have kind of balanced themselves out a bit. So yeah, for people who can't have estrogen based contraceptives, I do recommend the pill, and my advice would be to just stick it out. Apparently the implant is meant to be the worst for messing up your periods, so I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, partly because of my personal experience, but I've heard a lot from other people, like my friends and family, and I've read a lot about it online. When I went to the clinic once, the nurse there told me that it was meant to be one of the worst for periods, so if you're worried about your period messing up, then don't go for the implant. I've heard the non-hormonal coil is meant to be really good too, but I don't fancy it at the moment. I've heard some horror stories, so I don't think I'm brave enough for that yet. But I've also had some really good stories, so if you're brave enough to go for the coil, then do it. So now I want to talk about an issue very close to my heart. Cystitis. If anyone has experienced cystitis before, then I feel for you so badly. It is the worst. It's just awful. So for those of you who don't know who it is, what it is inflammation of your urethra, which is your pee-pee hole, and it doesn't always happen from sex, but most of the time it does. So it can happen from either germs, or, I mean, like bacteria, you know, transmitted from while you're having sex, or friction, and it's not pretty. It's basically, it's like you feel like you really need to pee, then you go for a pee, and as you pee, this like a little tiny trickle comes out, but it feels like your vagina is on fire. Like, it feels like a million tiny paper cuts on your wee hole. That's the only way I can describe it. It's awful. Oh my god, it's the worst. I used to suffer with it really, really, really badly when I was younger. I remember one time I was in work, I worked at a supermarket, and I was on the till, and I was sitting there scanning this woman's shopping, and I could feel it. I felt it coming on, and when I get it, I get a fever as well. So I felt myself go really hot, and this was around the time that I got it, like every single time I had sex. So I knew it was coming, and I was like, no, 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 no. And I was just sitting there, and I felt it come on as I was doing this woman's shopping, and it was just the worst pain. It's the most uncomfortable feeling ever. So I was like this, going there shopping, like, and the woman looked at me and she was like, "You alright, love?" She was like, "You look like you're gonna faint," and I was like, I don't feel very well. And I had to go home from work. Oh, it was so embarrassing as well. I was like 17 and I had to tell my male boss that I was having vagina problems. It was so, oh my god, it was the worst. So, my advice to stop you ever having to deal with cystitis ever is pee after sex. Just do it. Even if you don't feel like you need to pee, fucking do it, because it's not worth the pain if you get cystitis. When you pee after sex, it like flushes out all the grossness that might have got into your urethra during sex, and you probably will not get cystitis if you do that. I also take cranberry capsules, which I got from Holland and Barrett. They're a little bit expensive, but I think you might be able to get them from like Tesco and that for cheaper. So I take one a day, because cranberry is meant to have something in it, like some kind of antioxidant or something that prevents, or supposedly can prevent, cystitis. With regards to treating it, if you are unfortunate enough to get it, what I do is, so you can get these sachets, they're like, they're called Cystitis, and you can get them from Boots, and they're like little sachets of like stuff that you dissolve in water and it flushes it out basically. So you take like 4 of them a day. It tastes kind of gross, but it does the job. So I get a small glass of water with one of them in, and I also get a big pint of water. And then I go then if it's really bad, I have to go and sit on the toilet and drink my water while sitting on the toilet, and then just kind of wait for it to go. Sometimes I've sat on the toilet for like 2 hours waiting for it to go. I don't want to scare everyone. Like, I'm just gonna say, I suffer with it worse than most people. Like, if you get cystitis, it's not guaranteed that it's going to be as bad as what I get. I just think I'm in a good position to give people advice over it because I've had it so badly. Some people will never pee after sex and will never get it. Those fucking lucky bitches. So another thing you can do is have a warm bath and just sit in the bath and try and relax, and the water will kind of soothe it a bit. Don't put anything in the bath. No bubble bath, no bath bombs, just a plain bath, because any chemicals will irritate it further. And also wear loose clothing, loose underwear. Do not wear lace thongs if you have cystitis. Just a bad idea all around. Wear like some big ass granny pants and some joggers. Like, put your vagina first, honestly. Okay, so that is the end of my educational discussion on vaginal health. I hope that I've helped at least one person. Hopefully, I don't hope someone watching has had cystitis or whatever, but if anyone has been helped, then please like this video or subscribe to me, or both, and hopefully I can help you out further in the future. Talking about this kind of thing has never been a problem for me. I'm an open book when it comes to stuff that other people might find a bit uncomfortable to talk about or a bit gross. Like, I just don't care. Like, I'm definitely going to be one of those mums that's like giving talks about the birds and the bees, and my child will be like, get the fuck away from me. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, let me know, and I will see you all soon. Bye!